Hi, I'm Rob, and in this Gems of War video, I'm going to be jumping into the Soulforge, telling you what's good and bad in there. I'm going to show you a really cool no Mythic Journey team. Going to have a little Legends Reborn recap and show you a Underspire team too. But before we do any of that, if you fancy a change of guild or want to do something new, or just be in a really cool guild that gets literally every single thing done every single week. I'm talking legendary tasks done easily, all the rewards on every single event ever, never failed not to get every single one of them. But we do like a bit of Guild Wars, so you got to take Guild Wars seriously as well and enjoy playing it properly. Ignore that Guild Wars rank there. We're 12th before this Guild Wars, and we gained, I think it was, another 16 points. We're going to be higher than that next time, most likely. So message Red Hot Rockstar on PSN if you fancy joining a really cool guild on PlayStation. Right now, into the shop we go. Let's take a look at this weekly event troop, the Dragonhawk. Sounds exciting, but is it exciting or is it rubbish? Deals magic +1 damage to an enemy, boosted by enraged gems, and if the enemy dies, create 4 enraged gems. So you only get to create those enraged gems if you kill the enemy. So you have to time it right, which means you can't always cast it exactly when you want to, if you know what I mean, and then the enraged gems could well set up the enemy at the same time, so not the greatest spell of all time. Allied dragons gain 2 life, reduce damage from skulls by 30%, and 20% chance to dodge skull damage. Makes it okay up top, because it can dodge out skull damage, and it's got reduction from skull damage too, but unless you're a really new player, you are going to have far better troops than this. So again, a very standard 4 out of 10 for you, matey boy. But as ever, get it to mythic level if you can spare the glory. Anyway, my wife told me she was leaving me because she couldn't live with me always making Star Wars puns. I said, divorce is strong with this one. Excuse me, got me funny. Divorce is strong with this one. Yes, I like it. Right, what am I doing? Soulforge, the Forge of the Soul. Let's take a look at the weapons first. As ever, all these ones that hit on a regular basis are in my Soulforge extra video. I'll put a link to that in the description below, so we don't have to worry about them. You don't have to worry about the Draconic Might either from here, because it's the Journey event weapon, and you can pick it up with gems, which is a lot better than spending all these diamonds as well as all the other stuff you have to spend to get it. So get it from the Journey event shop. But what does it do? It deals damage to an enemy boosted by purple allies and dragon allies, so basic damage with a boost. Next up we have Egg Explosion. Explode 4 gems of a chosen colour and heal magic based life. Again, nothing special about that. Mystery egg. What is it? I don't know. It's a mystery. And it's an egg. And it creates 8 red and 8 yellow gems. Then Simon's other, a dragon egg or a fell dragon egg. That's the mystery. What kind of egg are you going to get? You don't know. It's okay. Nothing fantastic, but pretty good if you use those colours, red and yellow. But it could well set up the enemy at the same time, so be wary of that. Right. Next up we have Volcanic Shield. Gives magic +1 armor to an ally. If the ally uses red mana, give double armor. If the enemy has a boss, explode all red gems. So good against bosses, because if you got a red team, then you're going to gain more armor from that. It's a shame this doesn't actually use red itself. And if they use a boss, explode the red gems and get mana for your team. But again, nothing overly fantastic. You don't actually see it very often in teams. There's a reason for that. This one, Mace of Claws, deal magic-based damage to an enemy, boosted by dragon allies, then create a mix of 6 red and purple gems for each dragon ally. Uses green and brown, creates red and purple. So make sure you got at least 1 or 2 dragons in your team, use red or purple, or both, ideally, to make the most of all that juicy mana. Talk of the dragon. Don't talk of the dragon, he'll probably hear you and listen and then flame you to death. Remove all red gems. Deal magic-based damage to an enemy, boosted by gems removed. They are removed with no effect, by the way. If the enemy is from Dragon's Claw, if the battle is in Dragon's Claw, deal double damage. So this is the kind of anti-dragon weapon in a way, because red generally is the colour I like the most, and by taking them away, you give yourself a chance to win the battle better, maybe. But a lot of the dragons now use all the colours, so it kind of works, but it doesn't. So yeah, you kind of get that kind of thing anyway, just because it's so cheap to get. Using diamonds, just 75 of them. It gives you another weapon which can help your power level kingdoms in the long run. What else we got? You have a doomed focus. Create 4 red gems with a +1 gem per tempering level boost. Give magic +1 armor to all yellow allies, and if the enemy has a doom, eliminate all armor from a random enemy. So a lot of things going on with that. The boost is basically rubbish when it's not boosted at all. It's just going to just most of the time just create maybe a gem match if you're lucky, but otherwise it's going to maybe set up the opposition. But the higher level of that tempering level, look at +10, really, really good. Stacks of red gems created, loads and loads of mana gen. And gives armor to yellow allies as well, only if the enemy has a doom. Explode all armor from a random enemy. Or eliminate all armor. Explode armor would have been funny, wouldn't it? Anyway, it is what it is. Rubbish at the lower level, really good for mana gen at the higher levels. Dragon Tails. Deal magic-based damage to an enemy boosted by Dragon's Claw allies. Then create a mix of 6 red and purple gems for each Dragon's Claw ally. So similar to the other one, but this one uses green and yellow. Creates red and purple. Make sure you got Dragon's Claw allies that use red and purple to make the most of it all, as we've said before. And as I've said before, Wand of Stars. Fantastic weapon. If you haven't got it yet and you got a chance to, get it. The only reason I wouldn't get it on a particular week is if there was something absolutely essential, another weapon for example, that you absolutely had to get, and it would be gone next week, whereas Wand of Stars is here week in, week out. But a fantastic weapon. Create 6 elemental stars, bless all allies, or create 7 umbral stars and curse all enemies. So stacks of mana gen most of the time. The option of the bless and the curse, absolutely awesome stuff, essential. If you have the resources, what else have we got? We have stuff, we have Wings of Destruction. Do you like this one? Explode in magic +1 purple gems, grant a random status effect to all dragon allies, then summon a dragon troop. So nice explodey summoning weapon there, do like them. The Dread Arquebus, absolutely essential to craft this today. Deals magic-based damage to an enemy, boosted by booty gems, then explode 4 gems. Why is that essential? Because it doesn't sound that great, does it? And no, it isn't. But you still need to craft it, because it is one of the crafting requirements for the Ruby Macaque, one of the best weapons in the game. And there it is, the Dread Arquebus. If you don't craft this today, that Dread Arquebus, it could be ages before this comes around again, and then you could have everything else apart from that sitting there waiting to craft the Ruby Macaque. An absolutely awesome, awesome weapon. True damage to all enemies, creates booty gems and explodes gems, and can often self-charge and do it again. Absolutely fantastic stuff. So make sure you craft the Dread Arquebus today. Scaled Blade. Deal damage to an enemy boosted by red allies and dragon allies. So again, basic damage with a boost. On that Ruby Macaque, the other things you need, by the way, are the Lodestar and the Dread Cutlass. So look out for them. But I do remind you most of the time, what I remember, in future videos. We have the Doomed Spear. Deal damage to the first 2 enemies with a +2 per tempering level boost, then create 2 yellow gems for each yellow ally and enemy. If the enemy has a doom, gain a random status effect. So really, really good for mana gen when you're up against a yellow team and you're using yellow yourself. And it's absolutely just filth, in fact. You can just loop forever with these things. If you're against an all yellow team and you pick all yellow, the amount of yellow you create is just nuts, and you can just loop indefinitely with this until everybody's dead, providing you're not frozen. Absolutely fantastic for that kind of thing. Doomed Shield. There's a lot of weapons from Dragon's Claw, isn't there? Give magic-based armor to an ally with a +3 per tempering level boost. Give barrier to all purple allies and stun all purple enemies. If the enemy has a doom, convert 3 purple gems to giant purple gems. And that's the most I've said purple for quite a while. But yeah, it does all that. There's a lot going on there to make sure you get the most out of that, but it can be okay. What else we got? Is that it? That is it! Right, so absolutely today, make sure you get that Dread Arquebus. Absolutely essential for the future crafting of the Ruby Macaque. Right, on to the troops. Let's have a little sip of me coffee first. I normally say tea, but I always start the day now with a latte coffee. Mmm, delicious. Right, so if you're a newer player in particular, Always worth a quick look through these summoning stones, see if there's anybody there you like the look of. You're particularly looking for goblins, anybody that's empowered. That means they start with full mana. There's no one too fantastic here though so far, as to be said. Yeah, mostly foddery stuff. Okay, so well, that was easy. All right, now on to the mythics. This does seem to be happening a lot faster now. I'd say it's happening roughly twice as fast as it used to. That's good, it is. But it just seems super fast. Because we're getting this now Soulforge rotation halfway through the week on the troops. So yes, it's on the mythic and legendary troops, not the actual dragon on rotation. So that will actually stay the same all week. But anyway, first up we have Ratchet Cogbolt. Deals magic-based damage to an enemy and to random enemies boosted by allied mechs at a ×7 ratio, and summon 2 random mechs. And it does have reduced damage from skulls by 25%. Not that you really want this up top anyway, it's just more resilient to skulls if it did start getting bashed by them. Create 3 bomb gems when I die is a bit rubbish. Don't like those traits that basically happen when you die. Stupid. An unstable invention. Give 2 armor and attack to all mech allies when matching 4 or more gems. So nothing special about Ratchet, but it can be okay because of those summons, and it can save you sometimes. Hallelujah! Deal damage to the 2 weakest enemies, boosted by freeze gem and skulls. Then create a mix of 18 freeze gems and doom skulls. That's a nice mix of freeze gems, which are blue, and doom skulls, and if they connect and you get lots of 4 matches, it can be absolutely devastating. Now the thing is about this is those freeze gems, if you do this early whilst her ice storm is still active, that can be really effective because there's typically going to be more blue on the screen at the same time, which do match with freeze gems, so something to consider there. Undying is okay, and Frozen Grave convert 2 blue gems to freeze gems when my turn begins. Yeah, it can help things, but she's not overall. You got to be careful with her, because the thing is with that, it can be either devastating for you or devastating against you. If it works in your favour, you can create massive damage, and if you get a 4 match with those doom skulls, they explode and get even more mana, so it can be really good. But if she casts that and nothing happens, and you set up the enemy, you can be in a world of trouble. So you have been warned. Oh, what else we got? Dragon Lord is here all the time. Stellaryx is here all the time. Eclipse Loss is the dragon on rotation. If you're on the path to creating Stellaryx, and this is the last cosmic dragon you need, then 2,000 extra Dragonite is a lot, but at least it guarantees it. If it's the last one you need, I would rather spend the extra Dragonite and guarantee it rather than a 5-to-1 chance I'm going to keep on getting duplicates. So yeah, but each to their own, but it is there if you need it. What else we got? We have Kling Bloodwood. Kling Bloodwood, he's the one that hangs on to stuff. But this is King Bloodwood, his brother. Deals heavy splash damage to an enemy, boosted by entangled and bleeding enemies. Steal 10 life from all enemies. So that steal 10 life is effectively true damage. Take it away from them, but you add it to your own. But it's not a huge amount of splash damage, even with the boost ratio considered, because yeah, it's just not that great. Bloody Bowels. Entangle and inflict bleed on a random enemy when matching 4 or more gems is not too bad. The entangle is nice. The bleed is a bit of extra true damage, and the reduced damage from skulls is just sort of supplemental help. But overall, nothing special for a mythic. Who else we got? Lemigrim. Very, very good indeed. Damage to all enemies, then create 9 purple gems boosted by burning enemies at a 1-to-1 ratio. So you can create, what, 13 purple gems? That's a high chance of a extra turn on purple, and collect obviously purple at the same time. It uses purple, so it can get charged up and do it again, particularly if there's a purple storm to help things out. Impervious is pretty good, and decrease all enemies attack by 4 on 4 or 5 gem matches. So get an extra turn, and you're going to reduce the enemy's attack slowly but surely at the same time. So yeah, very good, with the chance of repeat casts as well. So I do like a bit of Lemigrim now and again. Now onto the legendaries. We have Garuda. Summon a Firestorm, does damage to all enemies based on your magic, and gain 1 magic boosted by red gems. It's an okay troop if you've got nothing else. If you've got no mythics and stuff, it's still pretty decent for that. Summoning a Firestorm with that damage to all. It does use red itself, so it can get charged up nice and quick. But yeah. Garuda. Hindler. Good old Hindler. Frostground, another one shown how to age a bit. Deals splash damage to an enemy and freeze all affected enemies and summon a giant troop. For a legendary, it's not that much damage really. Which does have all giant allies gain 2 life and magic on 4 or 5 gem matches. But yeah, the summon can be handy, but otherwise she's nothing too great these days. Who else have we got? We have Obragonia. Damage to all enemies and inflict a bleed on them. So damage to all with some true damage. Rain of Spines. Bleed a random enemy when matching green gems, which you do to charge it up. And deal 1 damage to all enemies when I match skulls. Yeah. King Heliodor. This is a good one. True damage to the first enemy boosted by brown gems and allies. Then knock them to the back and create 3 elemental stars. The cool thing about this is that Born of Stone. It does have reduced damage from skulls by 50% as well, so viable in first place. Creates a brown gem when my turn begins. And give 5 life to all elemental allies when matching brown gems. If you had like 3 of these in a team, you're going to create 3 brown gems every turn. As well as give 5 life to himself and the other King Heliodors, because they're elemental allies, when matching those brown gems. And then, if you get lucky with those elemental stars, which you can because of all the brown gems on the board, then yeah, you can go a bit wild with these and get a nice little loopy team at the same time. A lot of fun with a bunch of them. So, who gets my Mythic of the Half Week? What the hell is that? I still haven't thought of a name for that. I'm going to have to rob it out now. Mythic of the Half Week. But it hasn't got a fantastic ring at it. But anyway. So, let's just check. So, we've got Lemagrim, very good. Keep on calling him Kling Bloodwood. Not that great. And we have Hallelujah and Ratchet. So, yeah, these are alright. I do like her, but only if you're able to easily entangle the top 2 troops, say, for example. Then it can be really good, because if the spell goes against you and you set up the enemy for those Doom Skulls, you're not going to get as punished as badly as if the top troop or 2 weren't entangled. So there's something to consider when casting her. This is alright, it's just more sort of thing you may call upon if you're forced to use Dwarf or Mechs, because there's other options available. So I'm going to give the Mythic of the Half Week, don't know if that's going to be a thing or not, but it will be for now, to good old Lemagrim. Damage to all, creation of tons of purple. You can get them burnt easily by having something like a Obsidius in your team. Is it Obsidius? No, the other one. What's his name? Infernus, that's the one, Infernus. Get a format, you burn all enemies with Infernus, and then everyone's burning, and you create tons of purple, damage to all, can self-charge, and do it again, and have a laugh at their expense. So Lemagrim, my Mythic of the Week. Mythic of the Half Week. And now on to the Journey team. Now you must use Event Captain and Metheny in your team to make sure you get that ×2 magic, and the trait that gives ×2 to ×3 score for this event only. And you get that from the shop. You can buy the big bundle thing at the beginning or just buy individual tiers, whatever you prefer. But buy at least to tier 3 to make sure you pick up the Draconic Might at the same time. Even if you think you're not going to use it, it's always good to have another weapon on hand, because you never know when these things come in handy due to various restrictions and things like that. Then you do get the Potion of Rejuvenation at the same time, which is quite nifty. But at tier 1, you have to buy these in order. You do get the Potion of Enchantment. Enchant all allies at the start of a battle for this event only, which is really cool. And at tier 2, you get the Potion of Explosion, exploding 4 gems at the start of battle, again for this event only, but it does give you a nice head start on mana. You also pick up a Metheny at this stage too. Dealing damage to an enemy, it then creates 2 purple gems boosted by dragon allies. So make sure you've got an all dragon team for this to get the most of that boost. But we're not going to entirely rely on that boost actually, because it's not great. These Pathfinders have been just dialed down so much they're kind of unreliable in a way. But the way to get it to mythic level is to either buy a tier 2 to pick a Metheny up and then back out and use a couple of Orbs of Ascension to get it to mythic level that way, or buy enough tiers to get enough copies of it to actually get it to a mythic level straight away. So your choice. So on to the fights, and always do the highest level battle that you can regarding miles. This will give you the high score. But I'm going to go against the grain ever so slightly on this one, because the thing is with Journey is, providing you get the battle done in one within 10 turns or less. Now a turn is your go, including all extra turns. The enemy's go, including all extra turns, and then back to you again. That is one complete turn. And if you win the battle within 10 complete turns, you pick up the maximum miles. So providing we get it done, we don't have to worry about things like always being in a dragon class for this, because it is boosted by a dragon ally. So being in a non-dragon class means we don't create the maximum amount of purple gems. But if the enemy is dead before that, it doesn't actually matter, because Venoxia creates 9 green and 9 blue gems, then deals a hideous amount of true damage to all enemies, as well as poisons a random enemy on 4 or 5 gem matches and gains 1 magic when an ally casts a spell. So obviously this can loop on itself with that creation of green and blue. All the green feeds back into Venoxia, so I can self-charge and do it again, and all the blue will feed into Wand of Stars, which can charge up and then get 4 matches anyway, and extra turns, as well as charge up the team really, really quickly. And if we do have to cast this, we're going to create more purple, which is really good for all our troops. So happy days all around. If you want to be in a dragon class or elementalist for safety on the higher levels, obviously you can do that. If you don't have Wand of Stars, there are some really good options for this. Arboreal Crystal is not a bad one at all. Exploding green gems, granting a random status effect to all elemental allies and summoning a elemental. Does have Leaf as one of its storms, or one of its upgrades. Creates a Leaf Storm, which is green, and entangles the top enemy when cast. And because it uses blue and purple, it means it's really good for Venoxia, because all that green then also feeds into Venoxia, and all the blue feeds straight into Arboreal Crystal. Do you see? Very good indeed. Other ones which are nice, Obsidian Libram is always good for this kind of thing. Stacks of mana from this, really good, just blow stuff up everywhere. Exploding gems, and as a summon, and it has enchanting, which means it gets ready to cast again really quick. But I do like Arboreal Crystal for this. But Wand of Stars is the way to go with this. Regarding a Mythic team, we'll come to that in a minute. Let's just show how this one does first. Right, so let us make sure we got the correct banner on first, not banner, medals. Come on, game, get going, get me gold. Thank you kindly. You want to get things done as quick as possible with this, so we'll have a Medal of Anu at the start and 2 niches. And jump back in again. 35 miles, always do the one that's highest. That Potion of Explosion and a Potion of Enchantment at the beginning. And the Anu. We'll get our wand up really quick. And you don't always need to do it, because obviously it can fail, but so if you've got something like this, or a purple, Venoxia will be up anyway in the early stages. So just do that. Kaboosh them all out of there. And the next Venoxia would have been up anyway in the next 2 rounds, so plenty of scope for getting it done within the 10 turn limit to get maximum miles. Lots of green there, that's good. We should get a nice bit of mana from this. Wand is up straight away. Don't need it though at the early stages. You can just collect normal matches with that Potion of Enchantment, because we've got green here as well. The Venoxia is up. You don't need to risk Wand of Stars all the time. I'm sure some players just get the wand up and they just cast it without really thinking about it, and then sometimes it backfires on them, and in hindsight there was no need to actually cast it. You could come in my pub. Oh, we did have a nice 4 match near the bottom there till that. Done that. So you've only got 5 now on our Venoxias, so we'll take a little bit longer so we can go for this. We've got an extra turn, see, so Venoxia's up on the next round. Happy days. Don't even need to cast that, so we'll give him a skull back just for being annoying. Don't know why they were being annoying, because they were just sitting there, but they were maybe being annoying just by sitting there. Right, let's do this one, then we'll jump forward a bit, and then after that we'll show a really cool Mythic alternative for this. See how luck we get from the beginning. How much charge you get from the beginning decides basically whether you cast a wand or not. The interesting thing about this is this got charged up first. You can take out somebody first. Let's take out that Valraven to make sure we get those extra sigils in the bag. We did get the 4 match purple, which means that fed into Venoxia, and then that wipes out the rest of the enemy. Really cool. But if you have the troops and want to go a mythic alternative, then this is a really good way to go. You can chuck in a Chrysanthrax, a Stellarix, a Diamantina, whatever you have. One of your killer Mega Dragons that does huge damage to all. You can also chuck in Mist Mother as well. This fairy fires all enemies when matching 4 or more gems. Really cool. So basically get a 4 match and then just do huge extra damage with your killer dragon, who was in first place. And we still have to have this there, of course, to make sure we get that bonus magic and the bonus score. And we can still use Wonder Stars or Arboreal Crystal or Obsidian Libram, whatever you preferred. So let's dive back in again. Again, like I say, providing it's done within 10 turns, you still pick up the maximum amount of mana. Obviously, it'll take a little bit slower to get going, unless you get really lucky with Wonder Stars at the start. And there you go, Wand just gets so much mana so quick, it is a little bit nuts. And we are going to absolutely fly through these stages with this. And she looks sad about it. Don't be sad. All is well. Look at that. Again, you don't actually need to cast Wand, because the way that we get so much mana, you can actually just spend a couple of times around just collecting it like normal. But it's just obviously a bit slower. If you know you're going to kill him in one go, you can cast the old Wand. The old Wand will do its job. There you go, we've done it anyway. On the later stages, of course, if you're not wiping out on a single cast of your dragon, Chrysanthrax, Stellarix, Diamantina, Lemigrim even, whoever it may be, that'd be good for this one, creating all that purple. And then do look for a 4 match first from Mist Mother to make sure you get that bonus damage. So let's go for this. There was a lot of purple and yellow there, but all is well, and we want to have a 4 match there. Always good to get these 4 matches. Keep the turn going. Oi. Oi. Shouldn't be able to do that. And keep on going and continue to do the highest amount of miles you can comfortably handle. You can't come in waving that sword around like that. You'll be worrying the punters. Look at this. This is so easy. Oh, you're doing a squawky parrot appear. Squawk off. Cheeky. Right, so I might as well just do one more, because there's no need to keep on doing this. This is very clear how this works. I hope you can come in, go on, talk me into it. Oh dear. Right, so again, no need to risk Wand when we're so close to getting charged anyway, or whatever weapon you're using, and just blitz through. Very straightforward. Now a quick Legends Reborn recap. This is so easy to play this event, it's barely even a event. You just basically can pick up all this stuff as you move through the game, and you just play it using your most powerful, quickest death dealing team you can come across. The name's Atlanta. I'm sure it is. You can skip the story if you like, or read it, up to you. And you begin the game, you can just like I say, just blast your way through it. It makes it look complicated with all this story stuff, but it's completely unnecessary. Just pick your fastest team, the sort of thing you use for dungeon and things like that. Explore 9s and what have you, and just blast your way through. And just keep on going until you get to the end and pick up the rewards. Very, very straightforward. Just keep on skipping in the things. Not interested in the story. It can be vaguely amusing sometimes. I did used to read it in the early days of the game, but I've just skipped it since. It all seems a bit nonsensical sometimes. So just keep on playing your way through it, completing the battles, and you pick up those wild spirits there. As you can see on the left hand side, I've got 26 out of 40. That's unlocked this tier here. The first one is free, so we can absolutely unlock that. There we go. Let's get that unlocked. We get the Bull Tauros Horseshoe, and keep on going. The future ones can cost gems like that. If you want to pick up them, you can absolutely do so. Other stuff costs real money, so up to you whether you do that or not. And then continue as you get more and more of the wild spirits. You can unlock more tiers and continue through the levels. All very straightforward. Just blast your way through and pick up what you like, but you do need to obviously complete that amount of wild spirits to be able to collect the freebies, or spend the gems to do so. Up to you, but very straightforward and easy event. Now onto the Underspire. There's a couple of ways you can go about this, all of them quite a lot of fun. I'm in Dragon Guard at the moment with this team here, Wings of Destruction, exploding magic +1 purple gems, granting a random status effect or dragon allies and summon a dragon troop. And that Dragon's Grace is pretty cool too. All allied dragons gain 1 life and magic on 4 or 5 gem matches, and reduced damage from skulls is useful too, 40%. If you're in Dragon Guard, you can have stuff like Stone Wall. You can be immune to Burning and Fairy Fire too. You can have a barrier at the start. You can add 20% of armor to skull damage. Gain 2 to all skills in first position. And Banishment is handy too. Fireblade would be useful if we burnt the enemy. You can maybe do that with other troops, but not these ones here. But still, Gingerexia, still really good for this. Create a Holy Storm when my turn begins. Damage to all, so really good, and give a life to all. This gives massive survivability to our team, so that is really, really good. The Great Wyrm does damage to all enemies as well, boosted by skulls, and create 2 skulls when my turn begins. The good thing about just having one of these is it gives you control over the skulls. If you get a skull match, you can choose to make it, and remember, we've got that reduced damage from skulls ourselves as well as Razor Armor. Add 20% of armor to skull damage, which is pretty cool. So we got that, and we can also 50% start with dragons as well, giving ourselves a 50% mana start on our team. But I do actually like to go about this a slightly different way, and that is by not being actually in that. I like to be in Archer class for this, and the reason is we still get a 50% start with mana, but we also get a 15% chance for skull damage to be lethal. This is really good on the higher stages, when things get a little bit tricky and the enemy has a lot higher stats. We can have stuff like Hunt. We can have... I don't think any of these are any of these relevant? Anyway, I'll look at that in a second. Root Trap, always handy. Backup, you can have that. We can have Nature's Aura, I prefer a backup, just because I do. Water Vines, not too bad. You can have Dodge. You're going to dodge that skull damage if it comes along, and that one is useless. Just double check. This one here. Bow, missile, dagger. What is this? It's an axe, so it doesn't matter, so it was irrelevant. But anyway, we can still do this, and if you want to have a lot of fun, you can actually have 3 times the Great Wyrm and create 6 skulls when my turn begins, and then blitz through these early stages with just auto skull matches. But let's show this team at first, then we'll maybe move along to that 3 times Great Wyrm team and have a bit of fun with that. And show maybe what we can do with a Mythic team as well. So let's just check this. I haven't changed the banner yet, because that is completely wrong. We want blue and yellow. So we want blue. Let's apply that. And what we've got, looking for blue and yellow up the top, the minus brown. That will be absolutely fine. Thank you very much. Right, so let's jump straight in. Got a load of purple there, which we didn't actually need. Whatever. Be that way. What we got? Got red. That'll do for our Gingerexia. As we'll get that 4 match because it's there. Have we got any blue or red? We have got some red over there. And everybody will be dead. But you can do it this way. That's an easy way to do it. Always grab your free stuff from Matey Boy Chinface. There we go. Grab the lantern. Double your rewards on anything you choose. Come on, shift on game. It's a PlayStation 5, but it moves so slow sometimes on this Underspire, you'd think it was a Commodore 64. Did used to like my Commodore 64 back in the day. Very, very good. Alright, let's get that up. Might as well do that. Explodey stuff, see if we get lucky in our charges. There we go. To boost some more out of there. Right, so let's show how easy this is if we swap out those other troops for 3 times the Great Wyrm. This is like the lazy person's Underspire, because not only now have we got like 6 skulls appearing every turn, but also we've got that 15% chance for any of those skull matches to be absolutely lethal. You can just sit back and just breeze through these early stages. Probably a bit risky later on when the enemy gets a lot tougher. Just do that, wait for the skulls to appear, and then we can just make easy skull hits and blitz through these stages pretty quickly. And let's just do another one. Got a new Underspire guide out now, check that out. A full guide on the Underspire, done that a few days ago. Showing you the rule of 6 and 7, how you can save a stack of gems. Going through the Underspire. Look at that, we've nearly done it already. Ludicrous. There we go, done. So yeah, nice easy way to just blast through the Underspire with the greatest of ease. With 3 times the Great Wyrm if you've got it. Then you could go Ascensia with a Lemon as well. That'd be an okay way to go. Don't know what I got brown for. Just didn't care really, just waiting for that skull hit to come along. But yes, very straightforward Underspire with this, but do be careful on those higher levels, of course, when things get a lot trickier. So yeah, Underspire, there's the video. If you enjoyed it, it'd be really, really cool if you bash that like and subscribe button. It really does help. But most of all, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.